Lakeland Public Television's Common Ground is brought to you by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund. Common Ground is funded by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund with money from the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008. Hi, and welcome to Common Ground. I'm your host, Ashley Hall. Common Ground captures the creative process of various artists living throughout our region. Each week, we delve into the veiled history of our area, plus we take you inside the cultural events that put the North in North Country. On this week's episode of Common Ground, Rose Eden uses her mastery of watercolor to capture beautiful scenes from all over the world. Carol Hoffman of Big Fork shows us her use of oil paint, and we head to Longville to tour the organic gardens of John and Lissa Sumption.
I have been watercoloring for about 25 years. Before that, I used to be an oil painter. And then I got to the point in oil painting that I wanted to get more layers of color. So I decided to go into watercolor. Our whole family was going to Europe and we're going to Sweden, which is my heritage. And I wanted to paint in Sweden with something. So I decided to do watercolor. And I bought our kids, at that time they were quite young, I bought them small palettes and we all went to Sweden and painted. We were just looking at the subject and we were doing the boats and I thought, can't do this with oil. And it was so intriguing to me, I decided, well, I'm just going to do more and more of this. Anyway, it just overtook my life. And then I started to get awards in watercolor. And quite a few awards in watercolor, and started to get into the national shows and win at the national shows. And so you just don't have time to do it all. And I'm going to wet it down and do an underpainting first of the three primary colors. People don't think about it a lot, but you have to have the three primary colors in your paintings if you're going to have any depth at all. So what I want to do first is to just make a spotlight here. So we'll start out with the yellow, and I always have my spray bottle handy. And it's very fluid, and it's a very yellow painting, so we're not going to worry about too much yellow here. And you notice that each of the colors is very transparent, which means that as we add color over the top, the color that comes over the top will be transparent so you can see the color underneath. So we are creating this spotlight with the three colors. What the underpainting also does is it relates your color. In other words, if you have more blues, which we will have later on with our greens, it pulls it together because it has some in the background. I think just about all my florals begin like this. And often I just spatter instead of put the color on because I don't want to mess up the color next to it. I want it to run on the paper. And I'm going to tip it in all directions so this paint will run together. And as it runs together, my idea of doing this is that color is much prettier when it's mixed on the paper, allowed to mingle on the paper, than when it's mixed ahead of time on the palette. Now I'm going to spatter. I've used yellow. The color harmonies I'm going to use now are the color harmonies of yellow. We'll talk about the color wheel. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. And we just used the local color of yellow. And on one side of the yellow is orange and the other side is green. So I'm going to use some of the oranges here. This is cadmium orange. We're going to use a lot of yellows. And so the yellows applied first will pull our color harmonies of the yellow together also. And so we have the yellows and the oranges, and the other is green. So later on we're going to put a little bit of green in this. I see actually some green in these sunflowers. You'll see more as I go along how the yellows, oranges, and greens are incorporated into the flower itself. Now we're going to do some greens, and instead of just using plain green, we're going to use the color harmony of green. So the color harmony of green is on one side, again, of the green is yellow. And you've just seen me use Q Gold also. One side is yellow and the other side is blue. So what I do, I don't use much green. I have it's called Skip's green here that I spatter on. But I use mostly yellows and blues and let them mix or mingle on the paper. If you can look here at the yellows kind of divide, and then the Q Gold sets in, and then the Antwerp starts to mingle, and the Antwerp forms a green. And if you want that to run a little bit, it can run more and form more of the look of petals. Watercolor is, to me, watercolor needs to be fluid like this. I just love to see this run together. It's so much fun. You know, in life, it's 1/10 it's maybe talent and 9/10 hard work. And you keep doing it all your life. And then I haven't done these sunflowers, but I've done sunflowers. And because of it, you get much more fluid at it, and you can kind of foresee what is going to be here. In every painting, you have to have some kind of a vision of how it's going to be, or you wouldn't choose the subject first. First of all, you choose the subject because it inspires you. And then you keep looking at the subject and decide where you want your lightest light. To me, really, painting is the combination of shapes and color and texture, which means detail. And if I can find a subject like this, and I'm going to keep working into behind it to pull out the lights here and the detail, it really excites me. I'm trying to lace this together now so you can see the darks coming together behind the lights. You notice that dark, the orange I put on, this blue put next to it. Then when you break up the shapes, they have to be different around the next shape, because you don't want to follow that shape. You want to think about, whoa, what's the shape behind the shape? And so then you kind of go into that. So now I'm creating some more of these petals back here. So I'm going to think about the centers now, and I want to make the centers all a little different. In that they're a little bit more browny or brown than the rest of this painting. It means that they would have more of the reds in them. It undoubtedly becomes the centerpiece, the center of interest, isn't it? And then I also want to show you how to press leaves in and give some texture. And I'm going to create a stencil here on a few leaves and see if I can get an impression on the painting. Just press down real hard there. See what happens. Ta-da! If you do one stencil, you need to do several. So I'm going to pop the interest area out with the darkest darks behind the interest area, right there. And then I kind of seem to have a little circle here. Damn how it goes. I'm not going to finish it totally, but you can get the idea. In the interest area, again, I strive for the lightest lights, the darkest darks, the brightest brights, and the most detail. So I keep turning it different ways and thinking about it, and think about, well, what am I going to do here and how can I pull it together. I feel like it's coming together now this way, the lights and the darks, and the counter movement is coming across this way. The darks are coming this way and the lighter lights are coming this way. But I think I'm going to like the painting. I don't want to go too far. Nothing ventured, nothing gained is what I say. You just kind of play a little bit. You know, take a little time to play. After all, if it's not fun, it's not worth doing.
Okay, we'll work a little bit on this little pear here I'm going to stick in here. A lot of artists with their colors, they might have 50 different tubes of paint, all different colors, but I prefer to mix, and that's how I paint. I have been dabbling in art since I was probably 4 or 5 years old. It first started with my 2nd grade teacher. She's the first one that recognized that I might have had some talent. And she encouraged me a lot, and other than that, really, I haven't had a good deal of encouragement from people. I mostly have done my own art by doing it. I've got some classes behind me. I don't have a formal education behind me, but I've done most everything by just taking a few classes, reading, and practicing art. And I have been doing it for a long, long time. However, when I was working and had a career, I kind of put it aside because I wanted to raise my family and have my kids and a career, and I did that. So then when we retired, I decided I was going to really pursue it more, and that's what I did. I have done portraits, I've done landscapes, I've done animals, I've done seascapes. I will try just about anything. This particular one right here that I'm working on now happens to be a still life. It's not my favorite, but I like to try a lot of different things because I feel I learn by doing it. And it's kind of a compilation with several different things. I've got like a picture for one thing and some fruit on a table for another. And I kind of took it from a couple of different things that I've seen. I don't like to copy. If I see a picture that I like, I'll change it a lot, because I don't want it to look anything like what somebody else did or what the picture, unless it's a photograph that I've taken, then I don't mind copying. But otherwise, I'd rather not do the same thing someone else has done. One of the things about oils is that I really like is that they are very forgiving. They're easy to work with, they're easy to blend, and they have, to me, maybe I shouldn't say this, but they have a lot more depth than I think acrylics do. There's something about the intensity of the colors that, to me, is much nicer than acrylics. So that's my medium. I like the oils. One thing that I do that probably a lot of other artists don't do is I also work with some quilting, which also involves a lot of color and thinking in your head, you know, about the different colors and placement and form, and probably a lot of artists maybe have another medium that they like a lot, but I don't think a lot of them do. I think they pursue maybe one particular one. And certainly painting is my favorite, but I also do a lot of quilting. My husband is a kiter. He has lots of kites, and we fly them down on Padre Island. And they're so colorful that I just decided I wanted to do something with kites. When I'm doing something, it doesn't seem like it, but when you put it all together, and considering that I've sold quite a lot, there's a lot of hours in there, but very enjoyable hours. I don't advertise a lot, and I do like to sell a few things like at this art sale simply because it helps my art league, you know. But art's a tough sell, especially when the economy is the way it is. You know, it isn't a necessity, and people have to spend their money, what money they have, on necessary things, and art just is not one of them. My main thing is I want to get better. A lot of people seem to be intimidated by it, but my thing is you just do it. You just got to do it. And so what if you make a few mistakes, you know? It isn't going to hurt anything. You learn. You just have to do it. And it is intimidating to a lot of people. I've been in classes where, you know, they'll set a canvas up, it's blank, and they're scared, and I understand that on the one hand, but on the other hand, you just have to do it. Forget about being afraid and just try it. Can't hurt. What are you gonna do? Nothing. If it's not right, well, it's not right, and you can just do something else.
This is something that, well, we've really done all our lives. When I grew up here, this was our family garden plot. It was, I mean, from the time my folks moved here in 1940, this was always our garden plot. I mean, it's got perfect exposure and lots of sun and good soil. So this is where we always gardened. So, I mean, it's just something that I grew up with. Our partners, Grant and Christy, are kind of the technical experts. I mean, they really have done a lot of research. They've been doing this for 10 or 11 years. And so they've really got a lot of technical background and really have introduced us to a lot of the more organic practices that we use now. We're glad to see people's interest in sustainable agriculture and community-supported agriculture, because people have really become disconnected from their food sources. People don't know. We've had people that don't know that carrots grow in the ground. You know, when we, especially early in the season, when we're doing a lot of greens, we'll distribute the food to everybody, and then the phone starts to ring, and they say, "What's this? We got this crinkly green leaf thing, and what are we supposed to do with this?" Or you know, and even some fairly common vegetables that, you know, they don't know. People have never seen. These are all different kinds of basils. You know, people just don't see the kind of variety of things that we grow. We like to expose people to you know, different types of tomatoes, some things that are a little bit different. To most people, you know, a tomato is round and red. A tomato isn't long and zebra striped or white. Cherry tomatoes are little round red things, and we've got about, you know, 10 different varieties of cherry tomatoes. So we just try to expose people to a little bit different food.
Basically, it is years of experience gardening. I started when I was in my early 20s, actually when I moved up here. And John's family was, well, they grew up here, he grew up here, his mother and father farmed always and raised all of their own produce, basically, put it up for the winter, produce, meat, chickens, eggs, you know, the whole thing, beef, sheep. So when I came up here as a young woman, it was back in the hippie days, and I admit that, and it was a real challenge. And just interested in feeding our family as best we could with really wholesome foods. Everybody can eat better. More wholesome foods, less junk food, and kids do better in school. Adults function better. You know, we can go for longer periods during the day. I mean, my energy level is really substantial in the summertime. In the wintertime, it isn't when I'm eating the carbs and stuff. So it's a lot of trial and error, and you learn a lot about your body. We want to introduce a wide variety of things to people. Instead of having one cabbage, we try to have 4 or 5 different cabbages, Asian cabbages, expand their horizons. Start out in the spring with all of those greens that after a long winter we're all just really anxious to put some greens in our diet. Asparagus. We've planted asparagus that has another year or two actually to mature. So we sought out another farmer with organic produce. Christy and I went over and picked enough for all of our CSA people to give them nice healthy amounts of asparagus.
You can see behind me there's the big tube that's hanging down from the ceiling. That is part of a system that we installed in this house that circulates warm air starting as early in January, and that pulls air into a big manifold along the south side of the house here. And there's 39 tubes underneath that are 3 feet underneath the soil, and so that pulls that warm air down and it starts to heat the soil up. And so by early part of March, the soil temperature is already up in 50 degrees or better, which is about kind of the critical temperature for starting plants. So we can start plants in here, very early in March, so we really get a jump on the season. And then the system also is set up so that at night, if the temperature gets down below, a predetermined level, I've got it set at 38 degrees, then the fan will kick back on and it blows the air, and the air blows through and is heated by the soil, and then it reheats the air. So there's no heat source in this house at all. And we've had it down as low as, 15, 18 degrees, and it still didn't freeze in the house. It still never got below 36 degrees. The sides roll down, but there's only one layer of plastic. But it was just such a tremendous amount of heat stored that we can circulate that heat back through. And then we have a monitoring system that, so there's 29 sensors, humidity and temperature sensors in the house and outside that monitor all the conditions in the house, run the fan, run the irrigation system, and it's all accessible on the web. So I sit in the house on my computer, and I can monitor the greenhouse and turn the irrigation on, and so it's quite a system. When I grew up, of course, everybody gardened, and people would talk back and forth. Well, how's this doing, and how's that doing, and kind of offer hints back and forth. And now, of course, with the internet, I guess we have such a tremendous resource, and we can find a lot of information. But still, it's the things that you learn directly from someone else that's good at it. For instance, we found out just the other day from Christy that Brussels sprouts, you have to take the leaves off of Brussels sprouts to get them to completely fill out. We grew these huge Brussels sprout plants, but they had just little tiny Brussels sprouts on them. Well, you find out you got to prune the leaves off of them. If you prune the leaves off, then they put their energy into the sprouts instead of the leaves. So
simple.
We never knew that.
I've grown Brussels sprouts probably 12 different years, and I've had one really successful year. And she was just walking by the other day and said, "Oh, you really need to do this next week. It's about that time." And I'm going, "Do what?" "Take the leaves off." Well, I haven't read up on my Brussels sprouts, so now I know.
Most people think that food comes from a grocery store and don't have any connection with how it's grown or how much time it takes or the process that's involved. They've just lost that connection to nature and to the soil and to the source of their sustenance. So bringing people back through the CSA work and whatnot, it's really been a great education. People are so enthusiastic about. One of our subscribers said, he says, "Saturday used to be my favorite day of the week because that's the day I got to go golfing." He says, "Now Thursday is my favorite day of the week because that's when our CSA comes."
What we do in the spring, in March, we send out a letter to people that we think will be interested, and then to our previous clients, and they sign up for the CSA program for the year. We have a couple of different tiers available. We have a full tier, which is for a family of 3 or 4, and that basically supplies their vegetable needs for the period of a week. Then we also have a half share, which in this area we have a lot of retired couples, so that's generally what they go for. Unless they're vegetarians, then they do the full share. And they have a weekly pickup or drop-off. We have a facility in Longville. where people can just go in and pick up, and that saves them coming to us. It saves them 14 miles every week. Cumulatively, that's a lot of miles for the season, so we feel really good about that. Our partners, our partners, Grant and Christie, have people come to their vegetable stand. They have a separate little area where the CSA customers pick up, and then we deliver to Walker. If there's one thing that I would like to educate people about, it is try your vegetables and support your local agriculture vendors, whether it's Bemidji, LaPorte, Walker, Reamer, Outing, Brainerd. There's a lot of us out there, and it's a growing business. And the more support we have, the more it will continue to grow, and families will be able to eat much better.
Thank you so much for joining us. We hope that you enjoyed the show, and we look forward to seeing you next week right here on Common Ground. If you have a segment idea for Common Ground pertaining to North Central Minnesota, contact us at legacy@lptv.org or call us at 218-333-3022. Individual segments or copies of Common Ground, please call 218-333-3020. Common Ground is funded by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund with money from the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008. If you enjoyed this segment of Lakeland Public Television's Common Ground, consider making a contribution at lptv.org. If you have segment ideas pertaining to North Central Minnesota, contact us at legacy@lptv.org. Common Ground is funded by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund by the vote of the people on November 4th, 2008.